All right, welcome back to Bushnell Prairie City High School as we're ready to start for the varsity contest. That score is not correct. I don't want to scare anybody. We haven't started yet, so I got to reset that. Nathan, I know you've been watching a lot of these games as we've been broadcasting them, but they did that turnaround as fast as they've done any turnaround so far. It kind of caught me off guard how fast they got that turnaround done.
Yeah, they're getting better at it all the time, aren't they, Dwayne?
Yeah, they are. And head coach Martin on here for a few minutes after the JV contest. We'll have Coach Snyder on after the varsity contest. And let's look back at the varsity contest, or the JV contest a little bit. You heard Coach Martin talk about it a little bit, and I know you said you might have missed a basket, but did you do any, who was the leading scorers for both teams?
Well, I know I am missing 2 points from somebody on the Bushnell team, but it looks like Huffman scored 8 in my book. He would be the leading scorer for BPC. No, Dalton Strode also scored 8. Those two, I think, share that. And Ezra Mason, I've got him for 6. I got Nate Kramer with 3 points. Sean Link scored 2. Carter Alleman added 7 points. And somebody has 2 points that I didn't get in my book, Dwayne.
Well, you'll have that happen occasionally. So we're back on air here for varsity contest, talking about JV a little bit, but I think that we'll have the right roster now for Farmington. That kind of threw us a link. For it being your first game, doing stats and doing color, you kind of got thrown a curveball, didn't you?
Yeah, I felt pretty silly most of that game.
Well,
hard to keep track of names and numbers that don't match off your scorecard there.
Yeah, if it makes you feel any better, I feel pretty silly about 90% of the time. So nothing, no worries there for you. I'll guarantee if that's the worst thing that happens to you, you can
think I'll be all right.
You're gonna be just fine. No
Okay.
worries at all. We're about 6 minutes and 50 seconds away from tip-off here as we're here on TSSR Game Time Live. And we want to welcome MDH to the advertising family. Big things coming with the partnership between TSSR Game Time Live and MDH. We'll talk more about that hopefully next week. But right now, we're going to take our first break of the day. We'll be back with a little more pregame talk right after this.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
helps me reach peak performance
in the weight room.
Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
Well, we were camping, and then I got a phone call from my neighbor and said that we got hit by a storm. He said, "You better come home because there's no roof." He said, "I look up and see the sky." He didn't know what you were going to do, where you're going to go, but Country Financial took care of us.
We anticipate something that we hope never happens, but when it happens, we are there to make good on our promise.
Welcome back to BPC High School. Also want to welcome Country Financial agent Shelly Poston on as one of our sponsors. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor on TSSR Game Time Live, you can email us at hewlettpublipro@gmail.com. That's HULETT. Publipro, PUBLIPRO @gmail.com. If you're listening at home somewhere or on the road or whatever you're doing, drop us a line. Let us know where you're watching from, and we'll give you a shout out. Let us know what kids you're watching. We want to welcome all the Farmington Farmers fans as well. If you're watching us, this is, of course, free on YouTube. I want to thank all of our sponsors. If it wasn't for the sponsors, we wouldn't be able to bring you these contests as we're doing them. I know some schools are through different organizations that you have to pay for. We're trying to do it for free. A little different. I want to thank Bushnell Prairie City High School for giving Hewlett Public Pro and TSSR Game Time Live a shot here to do these contests. I want to thank Miles Hewlett, my nephew, who's running the main wide-angle camera for me. Jason, my brother, Hewlett, is running the Zoom camera. His first attempt at the Zoom camera, and it's he's saying it's a little harder than previous. He's taken tons of photos for me. If you've seen back in the day, seen him in a lot of football games and stuff when I was helping at the Macomb Journal and other places, he'd take a lot of sports photos for me, but the live action stuff with the video camera is a little different. And Nathan Webb, now he's an old pro because it's your second game as doing color commentary, so you're not going to have any problems at all with this one, are you?
Yeah, I'm fully seasoned.
Fully seasoned, that's right. Well, we'll tell you about who's going to be the starters for these two teams. I think they'll do the well, I'm not sure what they'll do. It's daylight out. I don't know how dark they can get the gym, but they may do the starting lineups and they may not. But we'll tell you, while we wait to decide on that, we'll tell you that the varsity officials are going to be Wyatt McGrew, Scott Homa, and Rick Fanistock will be the officials for this contest. So we want to welcome those guys. And really, the officiating I didn't think was bad at all in that first game. Let them play a little bit, which is at this point in the season is probably not an all bad thing if it never got chippy or anything. So it ran off pretty well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Well, we only have 14 kids, I think, on there, so somebody's there. If I miscounted, maybe. Is there 15 kids out there for Farmington?
I believe you're right.
And we only have 14 on the book, right? Nope, there's 15, so we're good. Sorry, I just ripped your headset off. There's 15, and we got 15. So
far, everything's checking out kind of close, isn't it?
Ideally, we should be okay here as we get ready to bring you the first varsity contest with Nathan Webb as the color commentator. He did the JV game. We want to thank our sponsors, Bushnell Banking Center. Bushnell Banking Center is located at 360 South Green Street in Bushnell. It offers full-service banking and loan services for all of your banking needs. Come visit the bank, a friendly service, or call them at 309-772-2345. Good luck, Spartans. Bushnell Banking Center is an equal housing lender and member FDIC. And Hensley Grain in rural Bushnell has a long family history of taking an active role in the Bushnell Prairie City School District and especially the Spartan athletics. Good luck, Spartans, in 2021, and enjoy your shortened athletic campaign. So we're just a little over a minute and a half away from getting started here. Two full squads on the floor here for these two teams. Farmington comes into today, I guess it's afternoon, 0-2. BPC comes in 0-1. It feels really weird to be in the middle of February and saying the teams are 0-1 and 0-2.
Yeah, usually you're thinking postseason stuff.
Yeah, you're well past 0-1 and 0-2 at this point generally in the season, but not this year. Corona has changed everything. Jake Croxton on the microphone on the far side. We have 8 minutes on the clock for these varsity contests.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to ask you please rise.
So we'll play the national anthem here, and then we'll do the starting lineup. So we'll step aside and let you hear the national anthem. So Jake Croxton getting ready to do the starting lineups for both teams. He was nice enough to bring them over, so I have them as well. He's going to announce the Farmington Farmers out first. Oh, they're not even coming out onto the floor, so had Jason zooming in over there, but they're not even waving or nothing. So the starters for Farmington: number 5, Corbin Rutledge, a junior; number 11, Sam Fletcher, a senior; number 12, Ethan Evans, a junior; Ty Anderson, number 31, is a senior; and number 32, Josh McMillan, a senior as well. Now the starting lineup for BPC. Don't think they're going to, well, looks like they've moved the spotlight, so they're going to try the spotlight. Looks a little different here with the little exterior light we got. See what Jason's camera looks like. It looks pretty dark, so we'll put it back on the main camera.
And now the starting lineup for your
So the starting lineup for BPC is going to come out now for the Spartans starting tonight. Number 3 is Will Hensley. Will Hensley, the young man from Hensley Grain. Cole Taylor, number 5, starting as well. And a 6'4 senior, Cooper Alleman, number 10. A 5'11 junior, number 23, Dalton Horwittle, starting today. He didn't start yesterday. And Shane Shin, at number 42, is starting as well. That's going to be the starters for your varsity contest for BPC. Will Hensley's a 5'11 senior. Cole Taylor, a 6'3 senior. Cooper Alleman is a 6'4 senior. And Dalton Horwittle, number 23, is a 5'11 junior. And Shane Shin is a 6'2 junior as well, as we normally do. It'll be Spartan, or I should say Farmer basketball, since Farmington's the visiting team, and we're underway here at BPC High School when they get the inbound. Be Rutledge with it. He's going to go right side into the corner now. It goes. Can't see the number over there. Knocked away. Nice defensive play. That was McMillan going up for the shot. It's going to be Alleman with it now. Alleman going to come near side to Hensley. Will Hensley's going to give it to Shin. Shin, right elbow extended, drives down, dumps it out to Horwittle. Horwittle's pass over the top, knocked away, picked up by McMillan. Now Shin's going to track it down. He should have got called for a travel. And BPC is going to take a timeout to keep possession of the basketball. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. Helping to bring you today's contest here on TSSR Game Time Live is Farmers and Merchant State Bank. For over 100 years, Farmers and Merchant State Bank of Bushnell has been servicing the local community's needs for personal and business banking, as well as home and agricultural lending. Stop by the main branch at 484 East Main Street or drive up facility in Cole Street to learn more. F&M is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. So things pretty hectic there to start that one off as well, Nathan. Hensley with it on the inbound. Going to get it to finally Alleman on the right wing. He starts the game just as he started the game yesterday. A 3 for Cooper Alleman, and the Spartans lead 3-0. It's going to be Rutledge with it for the Farmers. He goes down to Ty Anderson. His shot's up off, no good. Rebound tipped around by Horwittle right into the hands of Alleman. And they're going to set up the press as well for the Farmers. But Shin's going to break it down the right side. Picks up the double team. Hensley, I think he stepped on the sideline, didn't he? And he's going to throw. He's going to throw it off of McMillan out of bounds. Well, they just love to.
Farmington is going to trap in every corner.
They've
done it both times down the floor already.
They love to get you to the sideline of the corner, and if they can, they are deadly.
They bring them.
Alleman on the dribble now. He's going to go to the baseline. Running one-hander's off, no good. The left-handed shot falls short. It's picked up by Farmington. It's going to be Rutledge with it on the far side. He's going to drive, dumps it out to. It's going to be a BPC foul. The pass was out to Fletcher. But the foul's going to be charged to Will Hensley. Team's first foul. Spartans lead 3-0 with 6:34 to go here in the first quarter. Rutledge on the drive, and Shin's going to put a body on him, but not enough to keep Rutledge from getting the basket. And that cuts the lead to 1, 3-2. That's going to be Taylor with it. Back to Alleman. Alleman had Shin cutting to the basket, but Shin actually just didn't really cut. Shots off no good by Alleman, rebounded by Rutledge. And if Shin would have cut to the basket, Nathan, he had an open look, and Alleman wanted him to, but he didn't go.
Yep. You know, that comes with, as these guys play more and more together throughout the season, you get a better feel for your teammates.
So now Hensley with the steal. He's going to take it in. Oh, little spin move to the rack he goes. He's going to be fouled. He'll get his first 2 free throws of the game. Foul's going to be charged to Farmington. Charged to number 11, Sam Fletcher. His first. Hensley's going to be shooting 2 free throws for BPC. First free throw is up and off the front of the rim. No good, I think. Was it the front or the back?
That came off the back of the rim, I believe.
I was watching it through my camera here on the screen, and I couldn't tell for sure. It's a small screen. Here we go. Second one is good for Will Hensley. That opens it up to a 2-point advantage. 4-2, BPC with the lead. We're at the 5:56 mark of the first quarter.
Spartans look to play a man half-court defense here.
Yeah, they will play some zone and some man, but they got the man going right now. Rutledge with it for Farmington. Into the corner, he goes to McMillan. Dumps it out to Anderson. His shot's off, no good. Picked up by Rutledge, dumped out to McMillan for about an 8-foot jumper on the baseline is good, and we're knotted at 4. Now BPC turns it over, and a block by Alleman as Anderson went up for the shot. Horwittle with it. Horwittle's going to give it to, that's kicked. Yeah, I was going to say it's got to be called. It's be BPC basketball, right? Yeah. Okay, BPC basketball is going to be inbounded by Cole Taylor to Hensley. Playing full court man pressure here, and they'll look to trap out of it, and that's what they do right there. As into the game, number 12, Evans. That's the first time we've called his name. Now Taylor looked to the basket. Horwittle for 3, left wing. It's off, no good. Rutledge with the rebound. The outlet pass in a hurry down the floor to Evans. Evans backs Shin in now to a cutting. There's a whole lot of contact there. And Shin wanted to charge, didn't get it, but they're going to pick up the foul that time on Ty Anderson, I do believe, number 31. That'll be the second team foul for Farmington. 4:49 to go, and that should be a timeout. But we're not going to take it, so we'll maybe take it at the next one. So it's going to be Will Hensley on the dribble. He's picked up by number 14, Riley Embry, who's in the game for the first time. 3 on the way by Alleman's off, no good. Shin with the rebound. He's going to dump it out to Horwittle. Horwittle looks at the 3, drives to the basket now. He'll put up the shot. He gets knocked to the floor, no foul called. It's going to go back the other way. It's Rutledge with it. Rutledge on the drive. Shin's there to guard, but Rutledge is going to get the basket. And that's going to give the Farmers a 2-point advantage for the first time, 6-4. As now Alleman's going to have it tipped away out of bounds. And timeout on the floor. No, it is going to be an official timeout. Checking in, number 4, Jeremy Schleiter. It is the official timeout. Score 6-4. Farmington leads BPC. We'll be right back after this.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
Helps me reach peak performance. In the weight room. Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
Well, we were camping, and then I got a phone call from my neighbor and said that we got hit by a storm. He said, "You better come home because there's no roof." He said, "I look up and see the sky." He didn't know what you were going to do, where you're going to go, but Country Financial took care of us.
We anticipate something that we hope never happens, but when it happens, we are there to make good on our promise.
Welcome back to Bushel Prairie City High School. You see Jason was zoomed in there on the Farmington's bench. We were talking about the differences in how the teams are lined up as we were on the commercial break there, Nathan. Farmington's JV kept their kids real close together, but Farmington's varsity had them all spread out in a circle as Rutledge gets a steal, and he got hammered by Alleman. No foul called, and Alleman gets the ball back to Shin. Shin's going to have his pass taken away. It's going to be Evans taking it back the other direction. His spinning one-hander's off no good. Rebound's going to go to Fletcher. 3 on the way by Rutledge. It's off no good. Evans tips it out to number 14, Embry, and Embry goes back to Evans. Now it's to Embry. Right side it goes to Fletcher. Fletcher back to Embry. Down low it goes to Rutledge. Rutledge, a little drop step move. Touches it off no good. Rebound off no good. And he's going to be fouled that time by the junior, number 42, Shane Shin.
42, Shane Shin picks up the Spartan foul. That is first.
Shin's first. Team's second at the free throw line will be number 5, Corbin Rutledge for Farmington. First free throw is up and good. Gives a 3-point advantage, 7-4. Matches the largest advantage for either team. BPC led 3-0. That was the biggest advantage for either team. As we're at the 3:34 mark of the first quarter. So not a lot of scoring again here early in this one. Farmington enters 0-2. BPC entered 0-1. Second free throw's off, no good. Will Hensley with the rebound. He got tripped up and then knocked away from behind. Hensley's going to have it. He's going to go across to Alleman. Alleman's going to look to drive, throws it right off the knee of Griffin Pico. And Pico, who had checked in the game for the first time. Now it's going to be Evans on the left wing. Up top to Fletcher. Fletcher wants Rutledge to cut to the basket and post up on Will Hensley. He will try to do that right now. Embry with it now. Evans up top. 3 on the way by Schlueter, and it's off no good. Rebound to Alleman. Now Horwittle is going to keep it up the floor. He's going to get it up there to Hensley. Hensley across to Pico. A nice pass from Hensley to Pico. And it's a 1-point game, 7-6 here in the first quarter. 2:45 to go in quarter number 1.
It was a nice transition set there.
Evans.
Couple of quick passes and a nice look.
Rutledge with it way outside. He can handle the rock and has some pretty nice post moves as well. Rutledge is a good little ball player. Evans with it. Now to Fletcher. Fletcher's going to try and drive. Dumps out to Rutledge for 3. It's off no good. Rebound to Alleman as it was tipped, I believe, by Pico over on the other side. And now a bad pass by Alleman as Evans is there. And Evans is going to take it to the rack, and he's going to be fouled by Alleman. Cooper Alleman's going to pick up his first, team's third.
Spartan personal foul charged to Cooper Alleman, number 10. His first, team third.
Checking in for BPC is going to be Sam Hensley. First free throw coming for Evans is off no good.
And the first time for Farmington, 30, Brock Renner.
Brock Renner entering for Farmington as well for the first time. And Sam Hensley, as I said, coming in for BPC. Evans' second free throw. He missed the first. He missed the second. And Will Hensley with the rebound. He's going to get it to Cole Taylor. He's going to try to get it down in the corner to Horwittle, but it's going to be taken away by Fletcher. Fletcher's going to drive, and he's going to get called for the charge. That was kind of an ill-advised drive all the way. Will Hensley was sitting down there forever, and Fletcher just drove right to him. That's going to get you a charge almost every time. Sam Hensley with it. He's going to get it out to Pico. Pico on the dribble is going to lose it out of bounds. Possession to Farmington.
Dwayne, that Farmington trapping press is just about as hard so far on the varsity team as it was on the JV squad.
Yep. It has been a problem all day long.
It's a well orchestrated defense.
And it tips off of Horwittle. Oh, that wasn't off Horwittle's foot?
I guess not.
Well, they said it was over and back. If it would have been off Horwittle, it wouldn't have not have been over and back, so they're going to say it was off somebody else. I got a sub coming back in as Riley Embry checking back in. Number 4, Jeremy Schleter taking a seat. And if I'm saying that wrong, folks, I apologize. Let me know if I am saying that wrong. Sam Hensley with it. We're at 1:40 to go in the first quarter. Pico now to Taylor to Horwittle. Horwittle will drive. Now he's going to back it out to Taylor. Taylor for 3, top of the key. It's good. Cole Taylor. Big shot for BPC. He gets the bucket to fall. Now Rutledge is going to drive. Man, that looked like a travel, didn't it?
Well, he really lowered that shoulder to make his way in.
Jump ball, possession of BPC. Yeah, it could have been a charge, but there was nobody with a good position to take the charge.
No,
Brian Bittner checking in for BPC. He's going to replace Will Hensley. 9-7 to score. BPC with the lead. 1:17 to go in the first quarter. Cole Taylor with it. She's picked up by Renner. And that's ill-advised passes.
You know, it's right there in that instance. Farmington sent 3 players to trap, and that should leave a lot of white shirts to be able to move somewhere and catch a ball. We just have to find out where we need to move to and be looking for him to get there.
You got to look to where you can go before you pick the ball up.
Yes.
Pico from the left elbow, shot short, rebound to Rutledge. You got to pick that pass up, pick the ball up once you know where you're going with it, and adjust from there. Now Rutledge, I was going to say Rutledge just got hammered by about 3 players. I didn't think anybody was going to call it. That's going to be the 4th foul for BPC, excuse me. Rutledge going to be shooting 2 free throws. First free throw is good. Corbin Rutledge, a junior for Farmington. So Julie's watching Will and Sam Hensley from Ohio. Rutledge, second free throw is good as well. Bittner with it.
That was a nice look.
But they're going to throw it away. They got it across half court and then didn't slow down. Oh, there's a nice look to Renner, and Renner's going to get the bucket filled. To fall. It's going to be 11-9. Alleman with it now. Bittner for 3, right wing, and it banks it in. The bank is open on a Saturday afternoon. I don't know if he meant to go there, but it went in nonetheless, and it's 12-11.
I heard him call bank there.
Did you?
You didn't hear that?
I did not, but I'll take your word for it. In the corner, it is a 3, an air ball, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter of play. BPC leads the Farmers 12-11. Helping to bring you this contest here on TSSR Game Time Live. Webb Family Farms has been growing corn, soybeans, and Spartans for 5 generations. Nathan, Lisa, Jamie, Cyrus, Terry, and Linda wish all BPC athletes good luck this season. And M&B Furniture, Bushnell's only furniture store, will be celebrating its 60th anniversary in June. M&B Furniture is a mainstay in the community and offers top customer service, free delivery within 40 miles, and the best home appliance repair in the area. For everything you need to furnish your new home or replenish an old one, stop and see the folks at 481 West Main Street, or find them on Facebook, Instagram, or on the web at www.m.furniturinc.com. You can also call them at 309-772-2111. So the Spartans coming out of the quarter here. 12-11 is the score. Heading into quarter number 2. Nathan, what's your hot take from quarter number 1?
It reminds me a lot of that JV game. We get to a break and we're thinking, man, the Farmington defense is smothering the Spartans, and they are, and yet the Spartans are winning the basketball game. You know.
So in the first play of the quarter was a shot and then a long tip out of bounds back to Farmington on the missed shot. So 7:54 to go here in the second quarter. We're back underway here with Embry with the basketball. He's going to go to Evans. Evans comes near side to Rutledge. Rutledge on the drive, looks to the middle of the court. He'll pull up for 3. It's off, no good. And it's tipped off of Ooh. I was going to say that was off of Pico. I was pretty sure that was off of Pico, but they're going to give it to BPC. Not sure who he was down there fighting with. It might have been number 31, Ty Anderson, but BPC basketball nonetheless. Sam Hensley with the dribble. He's going to come to Bittner. Bittner is going to come down court to Will Hensley. Will Hensley on the baseline to Alleman. Alleman's left-hander is good. Oh, almost a hook shot for Cooper Alleman, and that'll give the Spartans tie their biggest lead of the game at 14-11, a 3-point lead.
BPC did a nice job there of moving the ball to different parts of the floor and not keeping it there long enough for Farmington to swarm.
We're going to call a jump ball or timeout? We're going to call a foul? What are we calling here? I think he's calling a foul. Foul on number 31, Ty Anderson. His second, team's fourth. I didn't see that coming, really, but Anderson did kind of dive on the pile. Bittner has it now as they break the half court. But picking the ball up at the half court stripe is the absolute worst place to do it in the middle of the floor.
Well, Alleman at least was on the backside of it rather than on the far side.
Now the ball's tipped away and saved back in. That was Rutledge saving it back in.
You're better off picking it up where he did, I think, than taking two more steps and picking it up on the opposite side.
That is for sure true. Rutledge looks at the three, doesn't take it, gets it into, that's number 31, Ty Anderson. He cuts the lead to 14-13. Sam Hensley has it, gives it back to Alleman. Alleman. Rutledge with the steal and a nice pass across to Evans, and Evans is going to knock. Oh, that was going to stay with purple, and I thought that one was off Evans. Masks are falling. Almost everybody's is below their nose at this point. Inbounded to Anderson. Anderson's going to look, puts up the shot. It's off, no good, short. Alleman with a rebound. Alleman's playing a very good game today. Hensley has it stripped away by Rutledge again. Rutledge goes to the rack, and his shot's good. That gives Farmington a 1-point lead, 15-14, with 6:03 to go in the first half. Timeout on the floor, charge to. They charged that to Farmington? No, Farmington. Yeah, they did charge it to Farmington. It gives both teams 4 timeouts for the rest of the contest. I want to bring you today's game on TSSR Game Time Live. It's Country Financial agent Shelly Poston. Shelly Poston, at Country Financial to learn more about protection for things in your life that matter most and get started on a plan for a comfortable future. Contact Shelly Poston today at Country Financial, 309-772-3003. And we are back at it here. Traveling is the call. Possession to Farmington. So we'll see what happens here as BPC's have a little good spurts and some not so good spurts, but they trail by 1, 15-14. It's been a close game throughout thus far. Farmington with the basketball. Tries to get it into Rutledge, and I think, yeah.
They're going to get
they're going to get Shin
there.
Or Hensley.
Yep.
Might be Hensley underneath. They're going to get Shin. You're correct.
On Shin. He about got away with it, Dwayne.
Yeah, he got away with the first one. The second one's what got him.
Yep.
Fletcher on the drive, and he's going to be fouled again. That's either Horwittle. They're going to give that on Horwittle, I think. Another foul. Fletcher at the free throw line. First one for Fletcher is way short, an air ball. Sam Fletcher, hey, that's okay. I think LeBron James shot one of those the other night, so no worries, Fletcher. That's the best in the business do it too. That one was short as well. Okay, Rick Miller, I appreciate you. Schluter instead of Schluter. So Schluter, I'll try to get that right from now on. I do appreciate that, sir. Anytime I'm saying something wrong, if you can spell it in a way I can read it and say it right, I would greatly appreciate that. So the Jeremy Schluter, number 4. I was saying Schluter. It's Schluter. I apologize for that, everybody. Still 15-14. Rutledge is going to put up the 3. That one's good. Largest lead of the game, 18-14. 4-point lead. Allman's going to drive. He could have very well got an offensive foul there. And now he looks underneath, does shin to Hensley. Good ball movement for BPC, and they cut the lead to 2, 18-16. Fletcher to Renner. Renner is going to give it to McMillan. Now backside to Rutledge on the right wing. To number 24, Logan Morris, who's played all that JV game. Fletcher with it now. Fletcher's going to go in the corner to McMillan for 3, left corner. It's off, no good. Ball tipped out, picked up by Taylor. Taylor's going to give it to Shin. Shin's going to try and beat Renner down the floor. A little Euro step of his own, and a nice move by Shane Shin. And the game is tied 18-18 with 4:06 to go in the first half. Rutledge has not taken a seat, I don't think. Yeah, maybe he took a very brief break, but not much. And he's going to be, going to be called for a travel, and that should be the 4-minute timeout.
Is this was this the clinic for the Euro step here at BPC High today?
I think so.
We've seen a couple of them that were well done, well executed Euro steps today.
18-18 is the score. We'll be back right after this.
You know, you see fires on TV all the time. You don't understand what the families are really going through until you've lived it. The day before the fire, life was good. We went to bed, we woke up, and we had nothing. If it was not for Country Financial, we would still have nothing.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
Helps me reach peak performance in the weight room. Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
Welcome back to Bushman Prairie City High School after the media timeout. Just about ready to be BPC basketball after the travel was called on Rutledge. Embry checking back in for the Farmers. Cole Taylor with it from Shin. Shin now on the drive. Going to give it to Hensley. Will Hensley, a little up and under move, and Will Hensley gets the basket to fall from Shane Shin, and it's a 20-18 lead for BPC. A 6-0 run for the Spartans now.
Yeah, we're coming to life a little bit here, Dwayne. People are moving in and out on that full court press, finding the middle of the court for an open pass and moving the ball down the floor.
Horwittle with a steal, gets it to Hensley. Hensley gets it back to Horwittle, and there's a kick by Anderson, which, and all things considered, if you're Farmington, you're probably okay with that, Nathan, because now you can set up the true press.
Yep.
Evans checking back in to replace McMillan for Farmers. Shin gets it inbounded to him, picked up by Evans. He's going to come across to Taylor. Taylor takes one dribble and then gets it down in the corner to Alleman, and Alleman wanted to do something with it before he had it and almost lost out of bounds. Taylor, though, is going to come up with it now, top of the key on the drive. Looks out to Hensley. Hensley will put up the 3, left corner. It's off, no good. A rebound tipped around, picked up by Rutledge. Rutledge has Evans going with him. He's going to go right to the lane, though. Left-handed layup is good, and a foul. Count the basket. Another foul for BPC. That'll be team foul number 7. That means that the Farmers are in the bonus. What do we got?
Was that foul called on Horwittle?
I think it's a technical. I don't know what they're calling on here. So the basket was good. You keep track of this. They'll shoot the one first, which is Rutledge. Foul was on Taylor.
Foul, charge number 5, Cole Taylor. That's his first. Team 7. Technical foul, charge of the Spartans 42, Shane Shin. That's his third.
Shane Shin picks up the technical foul, team 8th. Shane must have said something, apparently. They're saying it wasn't 5, it was somebody else.
Yeah. I thought Horwittle was the one there in the vicinity to foul that.
They're going to talk about that.
Correction on the personal foul, charge to 23, ball for the Horwittle.
There we go. Horwittle, that's his third foul.
Yeah. So we're shooting one here for Rutledge to complete the three-point play. It's off, no good. Now we'll shoot 2 for the technical foul. You write the time down. 2:56 to go in the first half for the technical for me somewhere. Second one's no good either. And the third one is good. So that gives the Farmers a 1-point lead again, 21-20. Sam Hensley replacing Shin for BPC. It wasn't very loud. I mean, if he wasn't like being boisterous or nothing. If Shin said something, it was quiet and under his breath almost, but it was enough to make the official not happy. Oh, nice backdoor cut, Rutledge from Anderson. And it's a 23-20 lead. Alleman with it from Will Hensley, and then Alleman's going to lose it out of bounds. So it's back to a three-point advantage for Farmington, 23-20 with 2:35 to go in the first half. A game of little spurts and runs, like not big runs, but 6 points here, 4, 8, whatever here, you know. Nice inlet pass to a fadeaway for Rutledge, and Rutledge gets it to fall again.
The offense kind of revolves
Rutledge
around
has
Rutledge.
19 of the 25 points for the Farmers, and Rutledge just picked up a foul. That's the 5th.
Number 5, Corbin Rutledge picks up the foul. His first. Team 5.
Yeah, Rutledge is a pretty nice all-around player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a good ball player. There's no doubt. I see why he wasn't playing fresh soft. I mean, he is a junior, but thanks to, I think, maybe Dad that was talking to us earlier. Rutledge's cousins, in fact, are watching in Colorado, I'm hearing. And Horwittle counted in a foul, I do believe. The basket's good for Dalton Horwittle. And that'll maybe spark things back up for the Spartans a little bit. It's the 6th team foul. That'll put Spartans in a bonus from here on out. One free throw coming for Horwittle. Second one is, or first free throw is off, no good. It's going to leave it a 25-22 ball game. 1:52 to go in the first half. Embry with it for the Farmers. Anderson now looking right side. It's going to go into Rutledge, tipped away, stolen away, finally picked up by Taylor. That was almost a double dribble. Taylor picks up his dribble on the sideline. He's going to get it to Will Hensley. Will Hensley's going to drive the baseline, gets it into Sam Hensley. Hensley to Hensley. And it's a 1-point game, 25-24 with 1:25 to go in the first half. BPC again closing the gap a little bit. A 5-point advantage just a couple moments ago is down to 1. So in the far corner it goes. Oh, that was a trip. Yeah, that was inadvertent, but it was a trip, and that was Ty Anderson driving. And I think Will Hensley's going to, nope, it's going to be Alleman picking up the foul. Alleman second, team's 9th. The free throw line for the Farmers is going to be Ty Anderson, number 31. See the disher and the recipient both in the same picture there. The first one's good for Ty Anderson. So Alleman picked up the foul. Sam Fletcher checking back in for Farmington, as I believe Morse takes a seat. So second free throw coming for Anderson is off, no good. Rutledge with the rebound and the putback, and he's going to be fouled. So that's 10 team fouls for BPC. Makes it a 28-24 game, and Rutledge is going to have a...
Who did they call that foul on, Dwayne?
I don't know who they called it on, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Jason Hurd. So Pico checking into the ball game. Foul shots no good by Rutledge. Late stays a 4-point game, 28-24. Pico with it down the far sideline now. Going to come to the middle of the floor. Gets it to Dalton Horwittle. Horwittle picks up the dribble, gives it to Taylor, to Alleman. Alleman's going to drive, pull up from about run-hander from 8 feet away, and then Alleman's going to pick up the charge. Third foul for Alleman. Bittner is going to check in for Alleman as we're down to 53.2 seconds to go in the first half, and there's a trio of Spartans with 3 fouls? There's 2 or 3 at least.
Yeah, there is 3.
Yep. Shane Shen's got 3, Alleman's got 3, and
Horwhittle's
got 3. Rutledge on the drive and a take. Makes it 30-24. That makes the largest lead of the game. Through 6 points. Now it's going to go to Bittner. Bittner is going to throw it across to Pico. Pico's shot's up, but it's going to be fouled. He'll get 2 free throws. Anderson's going to be shooting, or Pico's going to be shooting 2. As Ty Anderson, number 31, picked up the foul. 31.6 seconds left, and we're getting a little foul happy here down the stretch. First free throw by Pico's off, no good.
That's 3 fouls on the senior Anderson for the Farmers.
Anderson's going to head out, and it looks like number 33 played a lot in the first game. Gage Rinkin is going to check in. Pico's second free throw is in and out, no good. Rebound to Evans.
So who do you think they want to shoot this last shot of the half, Dwayne?
I'm going to say Rutledge. What do you think?
I would think.
He's got 23 of their points or something like that?
He has nearly all their points.
We're down to 7 seconds. Oh, they're going to call a carry before a foul. A turnover.
Huh. That's surprising.
He got ran over by Bittner right about the same time. I'm surprised they didn't call the foul. But 5.9 seconds. Will Hensley, he just about carried it, but he kept his hand on top of the basketball. He's going to put up a long running shot. It's off, no good. Didn't get anything. So with 0.3 seconds left,
as far as the fans are from the game, Dwayne, at least they got involved there. Ball made it all the way to the top.
It did. It bounced all the way up there. Not sure who that is sitting over there, and that'll end the first half of play. Farmington 30, BPC 24. Both teams coming into this contest without a win. Before we start talking about anything, quick take for the end of the first half. Anything?
It's a good game. It's a good game. I think if you can manage Rutledge and keep him under wraps, I think the Farmington offense looks a whole lot different.
That it does for sure. So we're heading to break. 30-24 the score. We'll be right back after this.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
helped me reach peak performance in the weight room. Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
Well, we were camping, and then I got a phone call from my neighbor and said that we got hit by a storm. Said, you better come home because there's no roof. He said, I look up and see the sky. He didn't know what you were going to do, where you're going to go, but Country Financial took care of us.
We anticipate something that we hope never happens, but when it happens, we are there to make good on our promise.
Welcome back to halftime here at BPC High School. A little under 9 minutes to go in the halftime break. And we were adding up points, and not a whole lot of addition to be done for anybody but Rutledge on the Farmington side, is there, Nathan?
I think he has 23 points at halftime here, Dwayne.
23 of 30. You can figure out a way to stop him, but we talked about him very early, even before he started scoring a lot of points. He's a pretty good ball player.
He's a junior, so he's going to show up again.
Yeah, he'll be. We'll see him again next year, hopefully in a more normal setting than we've seen him this year. So we'll see how that continues to go. But I'll tell you what, it's been a game of short little runs. We talked about that when BPC got back into the game. They were down by 6. They closed back up, took a lead. Now they're down by 6 again. It's just been up, down, up, down, up, down, and it seems like 1 minute they're scoring a bunch of points, and next minute you're giving up a bunch of points, and both teams are doing the same thing.
Yep. Yeah, the Spartans have had some nice runs when they bring the ball up the court, get through the press. They're finding Will Hensley in a corner, and then when he penetrates to the basket, when the defense collapses on him, he's been able to dish off a few different times for some easy shots for teammates. And if the Spartans can kind of stay in a constant motion once they get through there, and they can break down that defense, that's when I think they're having their best looks at the hoop.
Yeah, they've done some good things, and I don't want to be at all negative about the Spartans. They got into some foul trouble late. Man, I'd really be interested to know what Shane Shin did to get that technical, because like I said, he had to have said something, but he said it quietly. It's quiet in here, and he wasn't being flamboyant about it or outlandish about it. It was something that almost under his breath, it would appear, but it got a technical, but really didn't end up hurting the Spartans other than it gave him a foul. It didn't hurt the Spartans because they missed both of the free throws, or missed 2 of the 3 free throws that came with the one they already had and then that one. So it did give Farmington the ball back, of course. But
yeah, BPC is going to have to keep in mind they've got, I believe Cooper Alleman has 3 fouls, Horwittle has 3 fouls, and Shane Shin has 3 fouls, and those guys spend a lot of time on the court. As things come down to crunch time here, hopefully the foul trouble doesn't come back to haunt the Spartans.
You're watching BPC Spartans boys basketball varsity style here on TSSR Game Time Live, brought to you today by Bushnell Banking Center. Bushnell Banking Center, located at 360 South Green Street in Bushnell, offers full-service banking and loan services for all of your banking needs. Come visit the bank, a friendly service, or call them at 309-772-2345. Good luck, Spartans. Bushnell Banking Center is an equal housing lender and member FDIC. And Hensley Grain in rural Bushnell has a long family history of taking an active role in Bushnell Prairie City School District and especially Spartan athletics. Good luck, Spartans, in 2021, and enjoy your shortened athletic campaign. So we're down to 5.5 minutes to go. You look, and it's so early in the season, and there's so many things I know that you want to work on, and there's so many things you want to talk about at halftime if you're Coach Schneider. But again, I don't think that the differences of communications here at the halftime of this varsity game are probably that much different than what Coach Martin was talking about at halftime of the JV game. Slow down a little bit. Look where you're going to throw, or decide where you're going to throw maybe before you pick up the dribble. Stay away from the sideline. Don't pick up the dribble at half court. Just the stuff that, if you're at this point in the season of a normal season, those things don't really need to be talked about. But since you're in the middle of February and it's only your second game, you're just having to remind yourself of all those things.
Yeah, and the cohesion that comes about after a team plays together for 10, 12 games, even more than half of your season, understanding that when you bring the ball up the court and you see some of your teammates moving towards midcourt to get into position, breaking the press and different things like that, after you've played 6, 8, 10 games, you and your teammates have been working on that in practice. You've been seeing it game speed with each other, and everybody kind of gets a feel for each other. And right now, it would be hard to have that kind of cohesion, that kind of predictability with your teammates. So, but I think later in the first half, the Spartans started to find a little bit of a rhythm with where they wanted to be on the floor and where they wanted players moving to alleviate some of that hecticness that press was causing and those traps were causing.
Mentioned Jake Croxton overdoing the announcing per usual here at BPC. And Jan Hensley looks like she's running the scorebook today. Mr. Rotifer, Andy Rotifer, is running the clock and the scoreboard, so on for the game today. So Mr. Butcher is here. If you have not met Mr. Butcher, he's the new principal at the high school. He's got a lot of experience. I used to not work with Mr. Butcher, but I used to cover a lot of Mr. Butcher's sporting events back in the day because he was a coach in the area for a long time. So I knew Mr. Butcher on a different level, but he came in December, I believe, is when he started working here at BPC. As Donna Daly went to be the elementary school principal. Mr. Butcher came here. And
Mr. Butcher is a Blue Boys and Blue Girls former coach, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He did spend some time in the Carthage area. That is true. It's where he came from, actually, when he came to here. Mrs. Dinger, the superintendent, is the co-principal in the junior high. Mr. Harrison will be the principal, I believe, starting next year. So Mr. Butcher's just here at the high school, so he's doing a good job. Heard good things. Mr. Butcher's a great guy. So hopefully sometime here we can get him on the show and get him introduced to everybody. Of course, Nate Zeringer is the athletic director. I mean, that's not a job I'd want to have right now. I'll tell you that right now.
It's complicated on a normal year. I can't imagine a year like this.
So 2 minutes to go here in halftime. 30-24. Farmers lead the Spartans. We'll be right back.
You know, you see fires on TV all the time. You don't understand what the families are really going through until you've lived it. The day before the fire, life was good. We went to bed, we woke up, and we had nothing. If it was not for Country Financial, we would still have nothing.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
Helped me reach peak performance in the weight room. Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
All right, welcome back to BPC High School. 5 and 5 apiece for Will Hensley and Alleman to lead BPC. 23, you were right.
It's that Bushnell math.
For Rutledge. It's a lot easier to keep a book when there's only one guy scoring.
Yeah, I was running out of room there in the second quarter slot for him. Yeah, I'm glad that time ran out.
He
caught fire.
He's looked good the entire game. We mentioned him right off the get-go, and it never changed throughout the game. Again, I want to welcome everybody watching on TSSR Game Time Live. We're just about ready to start the second half here. They blew the 1-minute horn. It's BPC basketball to start the second half. It's Taylor, Will Hensley, Horwittle, Sam Hensley, and Pico on the floor for BPC. It is Rutledge. They're in a 2-3 zone now. Embry, Fletcher, Anderson, and Evans on the floor for Farmington. Sam Hensley on the baseline. Will Hensley along three from the right wing. Off no good. Tipped around. Horwittle with the rebound. He's going to try and go back up. He does. It's off no good. Gets his own rebound. And I think Sam Hensley pushed Ty Anderson into Horwittle, and Anderson's going to pick up the foul. That's going to be his fourth, isn't it? Isn't that his fourth?
Yes. Dalton Horwittle is probably the shortest guy on the floor there, and he pulled down 2 offensive rebounds in a row.
3 on the way by Taylor's off no good, and Pico almost picked up a foul right there. So go back the other way. Farmington with the basketball. Rutledge is going to have it knocked away. Horwhittle's going to go to the floor. There's nobody that works harder on this basketball team than Horwhittle. He is all over the place. He has got a high motor. Horwhittle's going to drive. Oh, nice little Euro step of his own, but he can't finish. And then there's going to be a foul by BPC. 24. Sam Hensley is going to pick up the foul. It'll be his second, team's first. That's better than being on Horwhittle.
I thought it was going to be called on Horwhittle.
So we're in the second half action, third quarter. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Fletcher with it. He's going to give it to Evans. Evans on the drive, gives it to Rutledge. Rutledge is going to go left side to Embry. Down in the corner it goes to Fletcher. Across to Rutledge. A nice feed from Fletcher across the lane to Rutledge. And that's going to make it an 8-point game, 32-24. Biggest lead of the game for the Farmers. Sam Hensley has it now. He's going to go to Horwhittle. Now to Taylor. Now left side it goes to Will Hensley. Tipped away, picked up by Horwhittle, now to Hensley. They've got an odd man rush here, so to speak. If you're a hockey fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. Sam Hensley from about 18 feet. The basket's good.
Was that another Hensley to Hensley combo there?
I think it was.
It sounds good. It works good.
McMillan with it now as he replaced Anderson after Anderson picked up his fourth foul. Evans left side to Fletcher. Embry comes up top, doesn't get the ball. Goes right wing to Rutledge for a long three, and it's nothing but the bottom of the net. Corbin Rutledge nailed that thing from NBA range. That kid can do just about everything on the floor. Now, Will Hensley's going to drive right by him, though, and put up the shot. It's off, no good. Can't finish, and a rebound to McMillan. Embry looks down floor to Rutledge. Rutledge is going to drive, and he had it knocked off his hip. Fletcher's there to follow. And Fletcher gets the finish. And it's an 11-point game. First time the lead's been in double digits, 37-26. Taylor with it. Going to go to Will Hensley. Playing a little man-to-man now. They came out in a 2-3 zone, but they're playing man-to-man now. Horwhittle has it go through his hand, gets it to Sam Hensley. Sam's going to put up a shot. It's blocked, but Will Hensley's there for the rebound and the putback. Well, we'll say we could say it was a pass, couldn't we?
Yeah, we can say Hensley to Hensley again. Why not?
Evans to Fletcher, dumps it back to Evans in the corner, left side. Three on the way, off no good. Long rebound, kicked around literally, picked up by McMillan.
You know, Dwayne, I as I watched the game yesterday, and there's a 3 attempt from Farmington with another offensive rebound. I was just about to say, Dwayne, watching the past 2 varsity games here the past couple days, the Spartans are not.
Pico picked up the foul. Don't forget to mark that down. Go ahead, though.
The Spartans are not excellent yet at rebounding. They give up, I think, a lot of offensive rebounds.
So it's 37-28. Media timeout on the floor. We'll be right back after this.
You know, you see fires on TV all the time. You don't understand what the families are really going through until you've lived it. The day before the fire, life was good. We went to bed, we woke up, and we had nothing. If it was not for Country Financial, we would still have nothing.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
Helps me reach peak performance in the weight room. Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
So that's going to bring us out of the timeout. I flipped just in time for Jason to swing the camera around and not have anything on it. 4:41 to go in the third quarter. Rutledge at the free throw line, shooting 2 free throws. First one is good. 38-28 is the score. Second free throw, good as well. back to an 11-point game. 30 points.
30 points.
For Rutledge, and they've scored 39. Well, nearly taken away. Hensley with it. Hensley's going to dump it to Pico. Pico is going to get it back to Will Hensley. Will Hensley's going to try and drive on Evans. Pump fake, puts up the shot. Counted in a foul. The basket is good by Will Hensley. That'll cut it back to a 9-point lead. And Will Hensley will be at the free throw line.
I kind of like the... Hensley makes the three-point play there. You know, Dwayne, I kind of like that. I like that offensive attitude down there. 2 or 3 different Spartans took the ball to the hoop, bumping and pushing and throwing up some shots. Make those guys foul you, and if they're not going to foul you, you're 6 feet away for an easy shot. I like that.
Evans is going to kick it out of bounds with a little help from Alleman, I believe. Checking back in for the Farmers is Jeremy Schutler. I think I said that right. Jeremy Schutler, number 4 in for the Farmers. Taylor is going to get it to Alleman. Alleman's going to drive. His shot's up off, no good, but a foul's going to be called on the Farmers. 2 more free throws coming for BPC.
Farmington foul 11 is Sam Fletcher. That's his team third.
First free throw is up and off the front of the rim, no good. Second free throw is good. The senior hits the free throw, cuts it to an 7-point game, 39-32. Be Fletcher with it. Cut by Rutledge, nice play, and what a bounce pass. We talk about bounce passes all the time, and that was a beauty. Makes it 41-32. We get close to that 10-second mark. They don't get it across pretty quick. And the corner goes to Alleman, and Alleman loses it out of bounds. And that's about the second or third time Alleman's just rushing things a little bit, Nathan. And he's played a pretty good game today, but he's just rushed things a few times. He knows what he wants to do with the ball and just isn't quite waiting for the ball to start whatever he's planning to do. Horwittle with a steal. He's going to go back the other way. Left-handed layup is good. Dalton Horwittle gets another basket. 41-34 is the score.
There's another backdoor cut, Dwayne.
And that one was Fletcher that time.
That is
Will
a
Hensley
tough spot to be pinned in.
And he gets called for a travel.
He knew it. He knew it as soon as he picked up his dribble that he was in trouble.
Yeah. They were laying on him, but he was lowering the shoulder.
Well, if they're going to push you, you got to push them, right?
Yeah. So, referee didn't let it go both ways, and Hensley just picked up the ball in the wrong spot. Now it's going to be Rutledge. Looks down low to Evans, I believe that is. Can't see the number. It is Evans. And Taylor had to rebound, but Hensley's going to, holy smokes. They're going to call a foul on number 32, McMillan, I think. We'll wait and see if that's who they called on. It is on number 32.
Well, Ethan Evans picks up the
Oh, that's number 12, I guess. I'm sorry, number 12.
Oh.
Called it on the backside player instead of the front side player. Cole Taylor with it now, across half court. Will Hensley with the bucket.
The Spartans are hanging around, Dwayne.
43-36.
A defensive stop and another score, and things are under control.
2:05 to go in the third quarter. Rutledge is going to drive, dump it out left side to Evans. I believe that shot's blocked by Alleman, picked up by Hensley of the Will variety. He's going to give it to Taylor, and he traveled with it. That's a good call. Yeah, that's a good call. McMillan was there, and it just screwed him up a little bit.
Yes, he got knocked off balance. He pivoted around and bumped shoulders and kind of threw off the rhythm of the of the motion there.
You see that a lot. That happens a lot when you turn and you don't realize somebody's there, and then suddenly there's somebody there. That call happens a lot in basketball, unfortunately. And we're going to call a foul on BPC. Will Hensley is going to pick up the foul. It's his second. Rutledge is going to be shooting 2 free throws for the Farmers. First free throw for the junior is good. 44-36. 143. Elijah Danner checking in for the first time for BPC. Rutledge still at the free throw line to shoot the second. It's good as well. 45-36, back to a 9-point game. Bittner for 3, left wing. It's off, no good. Danner had it tipped away, and it's going to be picked up by the Farmers and go back the other direction. Schutler driving. His shot is good. Schluter, you got it. Schluter. Shot's no good for BPC. Schluter's going to take it back the other way. He's going to go right to the rack. Shot's up, off, no good. Bittner with the rebound. 54 seconds to go. Tipped away by Schluter. Taylor's going to pick it up. Taylor slows things down for BPC. Now Alleman's going to drive. Alleman's running one-hander to the lefties. Off, no good. Farmers have the basketball, 0-0. Austin Thompson, I believe, who got that. We have him as 0, but apparently he's 0-0. They've got a few subs in here at the end of the quarter. 31 seconds to go in the third quarter. Shot. Holy cannoli. Schluter got that thing clear up off the top of the backboard. When things are going your way, they're just going your way.
Schluter the shooter.
49-36, largest lead of the game for the Farmers. Dalton Horwittle is going to get called for the charge.
That will be number 4, I believe, on him.
11.8 seconds to go, and Jaden Rutledge, watching this game, says he taught Mr. Rutledge, that's scoring 35 points now, whatever it is, everything he knows.
Oh, boy.
Well, Corbin, if you're listening to this later on, you can let us know if Jaden actually did teach you everything you know. Schluter going to go right side. Who's Embry for 3? Embry for 3, and that'll end the quarter. 52-36. Okay, West is in the ball game as well. Mackay West, excuse me.
Farmington's stretched out a little bit of a lead here, haven't they?
Yep, we're up to a 16-point advantage for Farmington. I'm going to bring you this contest here on 104. Tell how old I am. About said the radio station.
That's a throwback.
TSSR Game Time Live. Farmers and Merchant State Bank for over 100 years. Farmers and Merchant State Bank of Bushnell has been servicing the local community's needs for personal and business banking as well as home and agricultural lending. Stop by the main branch at 484 East Main Street or at their drive-through facility on Cole Street to learn more. F&M is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Webb Family Farm. Webb Family Farms has been growing corn, soybeans, and Spartans for 5 generations. Nathan, Lisa, Jamie, Cyrus, Terry, and Linda wish all BPC athletes good luck this season. So final 8 minutes are on the clock, Nathan, and that game kind of got away from the Spartans there in the third quarter.
Yeah, they have stretched out a lead here. They're hitting free throws, and they're playing good defense. The Spartans just haven't had an answer offensively.
(52-36) as we enter this last quarter. Schluter on the drive. He dumped it out to Thompson, who had it to Embry, now to McMillan. And Rutledge is on the left wing now. He's still in the ball game. Oh, boy. No, that's not. It's not Rutledge. That was Fletcher. And Schluter Got another basket.
That was another backdoor cut. Farmington spreads the floor out, and they throw the ball around the perimeter 3 or 4 times, and then a couple times it's been Rutledge. This time it was Schluter. Just when you're kind of lulled to sleep by some perimeter passing, then somebody darts to the hoop, and they're looking for him, and they find him there.
Schluter at the free throw line shooting 1. It's off, no good. 54-36 is the score. 7:33 to go. Sam Hensley short. Rebound by Danner. He'll put the ball back up and in. Elijah Danner with the basket for BPC. Cuts it back to a 16-point deficit. Schluter on the dribble still. He's going to go to Haggard. Haggard to Thompson to Fletcher. Now Embry for a long 3. Riley Embry, another 3, and it's 57-38. Will Hensley with it. He's going to drive, has it stripped away, picked up by Haggard. Now to Schluter. And he's going to be hammered by Bittner. A duck cross right into the chest, and no foul called. It's BPC basketball.
Bittner is listed at 6'3", and I think Schluter might be 5'5". What do you think, Dwayne?
Yeah, if he's lucky. I don't know that Bittner's really 6'3", but
well,
he's a good 6 or 7 inches taller than Schluter. That's for darn sure. Bittner's going to have to save it back in, and it's thrown away. It's going to be Haggard with it. Haggard's going to go back the other way. Haggard's going to go out to Fletcher, who gives it to Embry for another 3. That one's short. It's off Haggard's hand right to Schluter. Schluter goes to Fletcher. Fletcher's going to drive the baseline, throw up the one-handers off, no good. Will Hensley had the rebound, and they're going to call a foul. I believe it's going to be on Haggard.
41, Chris Haggard picks up the foul. Team fifth. Josh Reagan is in for Western Party City, and for Farmington, 33.
You know, there again, Dwayne, the Spartans haven't been pulling down defensive rebounds on the first Farmington shot attempt. When you give teams 2 or 3 offensive rebounds in a row there, not only are they getting an extra chance to score points, but you know how it gets under the basket. Now all of a sudden you start fouling under there, battling and fighting for rebounds.
Rankin checks in to replace Schluter. It's going to be Regal in the ball game. Josh Regal in there for BPC. Alleman has it. He's going to try and drive the baseline, dumps it out to Regal. Regal now on the dribble, picked up by Anderson, who's playing with 4 fouls for Farmington. Now to Danner. Danner puts up a shot from the left elbow. It's off, no good. Anderson with the rebound for the Farmers. 5:50 to go here in the final quarter. As you can see, it's 57-38. Farmington with the ball and the lead. Haggard is going to throw it to Anderson, and Anderson's, the basket counts.
Yep.
They are going to count it a foul on BPC. That'll be team foul number 6. That'll put the Farmers in the bonus from here on out, and Ty Anderson is going to be completing the 3-point play. It's like Cole Taylor and Griffin Pico getting ready to check back in for BPC's. Makai West was in as well. Missed him. I apologize for that, but Makai West was playing for the Spartans there. Now Ty Anderson, as I said, completing the 3-point play with 5:39 to go in the basketball game. It's a 21-point lead, and it stays that well. No, it doesn't. No blocking out, and Fletcher was there for the putback, number 11, and it's 61-38.
That was an offensive rebound that went for 2 points.
Yeah, it should never have happened. Oh, and Josh Regal going to lose the ball out of bounds as he tried to move. He tried to zig before he caught the ball. The ball went on a zag out of bounds. 5:22 to go here in the fourth quarter. 61-38. Farmington with the lead over BPC. I'm going to go to Fletcher. Down the corner it goes. Now to a cutting Haggard, and it's going to go off of Haggard out of bounds as Anderson had fed Haggard. And it really looked like Anderson was getting ready to cut to the basket as Thompson checks back in to replace Fletcher. So one starter on the floor still for the Farmers. 2 starters on the floor for BPC. Alleman and Taylor. And that was Regal down low. A nice feed from Alleman. Couldn't get it to finish. Pico with a rebound. It's off no good. Rebound to Anderson. Goes back the other direction. 4:50 to go. We'll have the media timeout. Should have it at the next dead ball. Carry violation. And that is the media timeout. 61-38. Farmers lead the Spartans here on TSSR Game Time Live.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
Helps me reach peak performance in the weight room. Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
Well, we were camping, and then I got a phone call from my neighbor and said that we got hit by a storm. He said, you better come home because there's no roof. He said, I look up and see the sky. They didn't know what you were going to do, where you're going to go, but Country Financial took care of us.
We anticipate something that we hope never happens, but when it happens, we are there to make good on our promise.
Welcome back to Bushland Prairie City High School. We are at the final media timeout of the contest. Will be BPC basketball after the turnover by Anderson on the carry. And it'll be Alleman bringing it up the floor for BPC. 4:45 to go, 61-38, 23-point lead for the Farmers. Turnaround jumper by Pico is off no good. Is that Anderson still? It is number 31. These numbers are like the hardest numbers I've ever seen to read. Or I'm blind, which is possible too. Haggard's going to drive, running one-handers, blocked by Danner, and it's going to be tracked down by Haggard. And it's going to go out to Anderson. Anderson's going to go to a cutting Rankin. Rankin's going to come back out to Embry. Embry picked up by Taylor to Thompson. Thompson top of the key, pulls up from the left elbow. His jumper rattles around and falls off. Taylor with the rebound. Taylor went up early, and that ball just hung on the rim forever. Now Alleman for three. It's good.
Three for Cooper Alleman.
Cooper Alleman, 61-41. 20-point game as the Spartans trail the Farmers here with 3:45 to go in the basketball game. Haggard's going to go to Rankin. Left corner goes to Anderson. Now to Thompson. Thompson to Embry. We've got some more subs coming in for both teams here when we get the next dead ball. 3:30 to go in the basketball game. Haggard with it. Haggard's going to go to Rankin. Rankin picked up by Danner. Danner on the defense. Now Regal's going to pick up Thompson. Pico over there on Haggard on the far side. It comes back to Rankin. Near side it comes to Thompson. Thompson on the dribble goes to Haggard. Haggard's going to try and drive. Dumps it out to Thompson. Left side to Anderson. Now into Rankin in the left wing on the dribble. Up right side to Haggard. Haggard on the dribble. Top of the key. Backs out 10-foot line. Left side it goes to Rankin. Now to Embry. Embry's going to try and drive the baseline. Nice give and go. A little pick and roll action. And Haggard's going to get the basket.
Did they wear you out on that one, Dwayne?
They passed the ball a bunch there, didn't they?
Wow.
Alleman for three. No, that was Cole Taylor, for three. It was short, rebounded by Regal. His shot was long, and it's rebounded by Rankin. I just wanted to see if I could do it one time.
I thought you did well. I was just about to say that BPC was doing a nice job of keeping everybody in their vision there for none of those sneaky backdoor cuts. And
then it happened. At least you didn't say it right as it happened.
Yeah.
Rankin for three. It's off no good. Taylor with the rebound. 2:15 to go in the basketball game.
Tell you what, though, that'll wear
timeout. BPC, and they take that timeout. I think they're just going to do that to get subs in. West is going to check in. Bittner checking in. Number 22, Grant Braun, checking in. Sam Hensley checking in. Regal. So it'll be Bittner, Regal, Braun, West, and Sam Hensley on the floor for BPC. Checking in for the Farmers as Anderson took a seat. I have to wait and see what that number is over there. I can see who it is, but I can't see the number. It looks like number 30, maybe, Brock Renner, is checked back in. And number 20, David Peppel. So it's Rankin, Thompson, Pepple, Haggard, and Renner on the floor for the Farmers. Bittner, Regal, West, Braun, and Sam Hensley on the floor for BPC. 2:10 to go in the basketball game. It's a 63-41 lead for the Farmers. Regal for three. It's off the rim, no good. Tracked down by Thompson for the Farmers. 2 minutes to go, 120 seconds. Jeff Borders used to hate it when I'd say that on the radio. So it's Haggard with it to Pepple, and Pepple's going to get called for the travel. Senior for Farmington. Elijah Danner checking back in for BPC as Josh Regal's going to take a seat.
I see BPC is juniors and seniors only on their varsity roster.
Yeah,
that's always nice to see that you've got enough upperclassmen to fill out your varsity roster. So many times at a small school, you see some sophomores dribbled in there and maybe a few freshmen here and there just to be able to fill up a roster. So nothing beats experience. And Farmington,
they did just tip that back. Braun tipped that back to Pepple, I think, to try and give Pepple a basket, to be honest with you.
Yes, I think you're right.
Braun did that absolutely on purpose.
I think
if you could see
he's
that,
got to get another look at a shot, too.
If you could see the fans, if he heard the fans, but Braun's only halfway playing defense on him. Pepple's going to put up the shot, and it's an air ball, and Bittner's going to come away with the rebound. 54 seconds. I'm 99.9% sure that Braun gave that ball back to Pepple just to let him try to get a shot off. West with it. Skips it across to Danner. Danner will put up a long two. It's off, no good. And Sam Hensley is going to pick up the foul as he ran into Pepple. And Pepple's going to get a chance at free throws, I think. Well, no offensive foul, no free throws. 40.6 seconds. That's a rule I forgot. You don't shoot on offensive fouls.
How could you ever forget anything?
35. I forget everything. I forget my name half the time. 31 seconds to go. Haggard's going to drive, knocked away by West, taken by Sam Hensley. Hensley's going to get the running layup with the right hand. That'll make it a 63-43 game. Under 20 seconds to go now. Renner has it to Rankin, and they're just going to hold it. Not going to shoot again, I don't think, unless Pepple gets a shot. Pepple with it. And he's not going to shoot. That'll end the ball game. Final score, 63-43. Farmers over the Spartans.
Unofficially leading scorers for Richmond Party City.
Will Hensley with 12 points. We'll talk about scoring, and we'll talk to Coach Snyder right after this. Final score, 63-43.
You know, you see fires on TV all the time. You don't understand what the families are really going through until you've lived it. The day before the fire, life was good. We went to bed, we woke up, and we had nothing. If it was not for Country Financial, we would still have nothing.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
helped me reach peak performance in the weight room. Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
Welcome back to BPC High School. Just like that, we have Coach Tyler Snyder on with us. And, Coach, that Rutledge kid is a pretty good ball player, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And, you try to put one of your better defenders on him and just to see, what you got can do against him. And, I think at halftime he had 23 and we had, I think, 26. And, it wasn't too much longer. He had 28 and
35
then 30. And
I don't know what he ended up with.
And he's a good ball player, and they get him the ball in areas that he can score. So
we talked to Steve, Coach Martin, between games about the press from Farmington. Well, they like the pressure. And if you pick up the ball in the wrong spot or you take the ball to the sideline, man, they are all over you, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. The first thing I wrote on the board was pressure. You got to be able to handle their pressure. We had had some experience last night with Knoxville and some pressure, and I told them, Farmington pressure is not Knoxville pressure, and they're going to get after it, and we just got to be strong with the ball and make sure that we make good passes and can pass fake, and kind of hurt us sometimes in the first half and then hurt us a little bit in the second half. But all in all, in our second game, again, I can't be more proud of our guys. We're getting better and better every game. So,
how hard has this been for you as a coach trying to get kids ready? And I mean, you were worried if you were going to get your 7 days of practice in before your first game. Some of these schools, as soon as they went to that phase 4 or whatever, they went to the phase before the phase 4, which allowed playing.
Yeah,
but
Tier 1.
Tier 1. When they went to Tier 1, schools started practicing. BPC was not one of those schools. So a lot of these schools had plenty of practices in. You guys didn't. How difficult has this all been for you, and how hard do you think it really is on the kids?
It's hard because you don't know when to start your planning, and in all, I mean, you have a plan set, and then all of a sudden you don't have a season, and so you got to go back to, all right, well, now I got my plan set again because we're going to have a season, and, like you said, trying to get 7 practices in, we did, actually, we got 9, so that was good. But I know it's hard on the kids, not practicing and everything, but again, that's the hand we're dealt, and I've told them, guys, we can't make excuses, so we just got to keep going forward.
It's hard and it's difficult, but you as a coach have to feel good that the kids get to at least play some games. I mean, it's only going to be a 10 or 12 game schedule, whatever it is.
Correct.
But the seniors are getting to play some basketball. Last year's baseball and softball and track kids didn't get to do anything. If that was their only sport, they didn't get to do. At least they get to do something.
Right, and again, I'm ecstatic that, like I said on my Facebook page, that I'm ecstatic that these kids are actually getting to play. And I'm ecstated that I get to coach them this year, and we get to hear the ball bouncing in the gym, and we get spectators. And without you guys doing what you're doing, some spectators at home and the away fans wouldn't be able to see this. So thanks for everything that you guys have done.
Oh, we appreciate it. What's going to be on the agenda for you as a coach as you move into the second week of games for you guys? What's the thing if you look at these 2 games and they're back-to-back nights, which don't help you either?
No.
I mean, but that makes it even more difficult because you didn't really get to practice or fix anything.
Right.
So what do you see as the biggest thing that you want to work on in practice before you get going again on games?
Handling pressure, obviously that's the big thing because, there's going to be other teams that probably get our film and going to want to pressure us, and we just got to make sure that we're sound with handling pressure. Got to get better flow on offense. I think we get kind of stagnant, and so that'll be something that we work on. The good thing is next week we got 4 practices before we play West Prairie on Friday, so we should be a little different next Friday, I would think, having these 2 games under our belts. Our kids should be able to bounce back, and I'm pretty sure that they know stuff that they also need to work on. So
now, before I let you go, I know that a lot of people have talked about your coaching style, and you're not flamboyant, and you're not a screamer, and you're not a yeller. I actually laughed last night. We didn't get to talk to you last night. I actually laughed at you. You were as excited as I'd seen you. And we actually had the camera. We actually had the camera on you one time last night after a timeout, and you tossed the clipboard down.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever seen you do anything like that.
I try to be even keel, so nothing bothers me, and nothing. I was taught in college, don't get too high on the highs, don't get too lows on the lows. If you stay kind of even keel, it should all balance out. So I try to do that when I'm coaching, and try to have the players follow that mindset that, you're not going to get every call, and you're not going to make every shot. But you know what? When something good happens, we don't need to get all excited because I expect you to do it again.
Right.
So as long as we can keep them, or I can keep them kind of in that mindset, I think we'll have a successful season. So
win like you've won before and lose like you've lost before, right?
Correct. My college football coach told us when we scored a touchdown, you act like you've done it before.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to get these kids to understand.
I had to give you a little hard time about that because that's the first time I've ever seen you get worked up. I haven't been to a ton of your games, but
I try not to because I know that's kind of a knock on me. But I try not to get too overexcited or too extremely upset. But yeah, last night was a little different just because it was something that we talked about in the huddle during the timeout, and then we just didn't execute. So that kind of irritated me.
It's frustrating, and I'm sure it's frustrating. But at the same time, for you as a coach, you probably set the back. If you take a step back, you're like, we expect this, and the kids expect this, but this isn't the normal expectations of a season. Everything has changed so much.
Normally, we'd have looking at 17, 18 practices before we even play, and you can get everything installed and whatnot, and the kids are more conditioned to a game speed and everything. And I think our kids will get there. In talking to the Knoxville coach last night, he said, your kids will get there. Just tell them, just keep chugging. They'll get there as far as conditioning and playing with the mask on and everything. But I could tell last night they got kind of aggravated with it, having to wear it. But
yeah, there was one point tonight that I think all 10 players on the floor had it down below their nose.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I know the IHSA's come down on us and said, hey, try to harp. It's got to be, above your nose and covering your mouth. And
that's easy for people to say when they're not the ones having to do it, though.
And
if you walk around, even us doing this, it's hard to, you catch yourself breathing different. And I cannot imagine what it's like for those kids trying to run up and down the floor with a mask on.
Right, and I know we had open gyms in the fall, and when we were allowed to have some contact days, and I think in September, and I think I played a couple open gyms just as an extra guy because we have 9 or whatever, and wearing a mask. I think, me being kind of old and out of shape, I think I made it like 3 times up and down the floor, and I was, all right, water break. I get that luxury of calling those water breaks in practice.
Calling an audible, right?
And during a game, I don't get that chance, so.
Well, we appreciate you coming up here and talking to us. Hopefully we get to talk to you after most games. And
sorry about, first game, you kind of want to make sure you kind of hammer some things home. And
well, no, that's perfectly understandable. I get it. Plus, explain where your locker room is.
So
it's like down the hallway and turn second hallway into third hallway,
We actually go to our art teacher, head football coach, Dave Rodis. We go to his room because it can spaciously have all of us, all 12 or 14 of us, if Coach Martin and I are in there, 6 feet apart in distance, and and that's the luxury that being able to go. Like our locker room, there's no way we could have. Maybe we might
5
be able to
people,
have maybe 6.
Yeah,
6 people in there to talk and do or at least follow the guidelines of being 6 feet apart. So, thanks to him that we can use he doesn't get too upset. I haven't really messed up his art board too much.
Well, I'm sure that you guys have to have somewhat of a decent relationship there anyway, because you've got to March 5th or 1st of March, your life gets ignorantly busy, doesn't it?
March, yeah. And thankfully our school board approved that we're going to push back junior high track to start April 4th, which is the same as high school track, I believe. Otherwise, March 1st, I'm starting junior high track, and then March 3rd, I'm starting football, and I still have 2 weeks of basketball. So, yeah, it would have been a crazy month. So
you've tons of time. You got all kinds of time. What's the big deal?
Yeah, well, I might, but I'm not sure that the kids do. So, they still have homework and stuff like that to get done and everything. So
I hear you.
But,
No. So, well, thanks for coming up and talk to us. Hopefully here next game or game after or something like that, we'll be able to talk to you after a win.
Yeah, that's the plan anyway. So next week we'll hit it hard in practice and move forward, and we'll try to get that victory against West Prairie next Friday.
Okay, well, that's Coach Tyler Snyder talking to us after the contest. And
thanks, guys.
We'll real quick wrap things up here with Nathan Webb doing his first 2 games as color commentator. You got any stats, any numbers added up there?
I've got some points scored.
Okay, let's do that.
For Farmington, Jeremy Schluter ended up with 6. Corbin Rutledge led all scorers with, I believe, 35 today.
That's a decent career for me.
It's not a bad night, is it?
No, it's not.
Sam Fletcher scored 6. Embry scored 6. Renner with 2. Ty Anderson with 5. Josh McMillan with 2. Chris Haggard scored 2 points. Those are the Farmington scorers. On the BPC side, I think Will Hensley scored 12. Taylor with 3. Alleman with 9. Danner scored 2. Griffin Pico scored 2. Dalton Horwittle scored 4. Sam Hensley, 6. Brian Bittner, 3 points. And Shane Shin I have at 2 points on the night. I don't know if those point totals add up or not, but that's what's in my book.
Well, I appreciate you coming up last second. So you told me on Wednesday, I think it was, right? You told me on Wednesday.
Yeah, I expected you never to cash in on that.
Yeah, you said if you ever need help, well, I needed help today. It didn't last. That offer did not stand very long before you got called out on it, did it?
I'm happy to help. I thought it was pretty interesting.
It was fun. You did a great job, especially for it being your first time. So we appreciate you coming. Hopefully we'll get to do a few more games with you. I want to thank everybody who helped bring the contest here on TSSR Game Time Live, Bushnell Banking Center, Hensley Grain, Farmers and Merchant State Bank of Bushnell, Webb Family Farm, M&B Furniture, and Country Financial Agent Shelley Poston. So we'll be back. We're not scheduled to be back on, I think, junior high basketball on Thursday night. You can check us out on tristatesportsreport.com. There's a schedule on the right side of the page to see what the schedule is going to be for TSSR Game Time Live. But I think it's Thursday night for junior high boys basketball. So we've got a few days off early in the week. So we'll be back in the end of next week. We appreciate you joining us and watching us here on TSSR Live, Game Time Live, of course, on our Hewlett Public Pro LLC Facebook page, YouTube page. Again, share that. Get people out there, subscribe, make sure you know when all the games are coming up. So with that, we're going to head on out of here. Thanks to our family support sponsors as well, and we'll be back next Thursday night. See ya.